What's up, humans? How's it hanging? I'm Nerdy Beard and I'm back playing World of Warplanes. Still having a fantastic time playing this, guys, and a massive shout out to Wargaming for their work on this. It's been reasonably simple to get the hang of, and I have been posting some reasonably good scores. Now, you're seeing me here play in the Tier 4 German fighter, the BF109B. And what I like to do, guys, is when I feature a particular ship or plane or tank or whatever, get this guy. Oh, turn. What I'll do is I'll max it out first. So I really don't like playing things stock because they're just not a good reflection on how the vehicle performs. And what I've found, especially with these planes, he's out. Good capture point. So what we've found with the planes especially is they're kind of rubbish straight off the bat. There's really not a lot going for them. They turn poorly, they're slow, they don't have good boosts, and the guns are particularly rubbish. But even a simple engine upgrade can change a plane from being almost unplayable to a fantastic machine for you to use. And so I thought it's probably better, just for overall idea, of what's going on with the game as a whole, and how to be looking at playing certain planes. That what's this guy? Alright, it's probably better to see them maxed out. There's no point really, throwing them straight in stock because you really don't get a good idea of what you can eventually do with these planes. So yeah, and having said that, we're here in the fully decked out Tier 4 fighter. Let's see if I can get away with this guy without the ramp. Ooh. So yeah, just if you are looking to get into it, guys, it is a lot of fun. Wargaming have kept it simple while still making it a reasonably good, not so much a simulator for a flight game, very much an arcade game, but they've kept it simple. You just quite literally move your pointer across the screen. I think it's got a tail gun. I might get out of there, and go after the bad guys. But like I said before, I'm having a lot of fun with it, and it is kept me coming back. Now I'm at Tier 4 with the British fighters and the German fighters now, and this thing is just a damage machine. It's got guns in the nose, synchronized with the propeller, and it's got a whole series of guns in the wings. As you can see, they're all firing there, and you have the option of upgrading the wing guns to cannons as well. So I tried that, and it just really wasn't putting out the hurt like I wanted to. Lucky accuracy isn't a thing. Yeah, so the cannons are really good. They shred light targets very quickly. But what happens though is they overheat very quickly too. You've only got probably 4 or 5 rounds out of each cannon before they overheat. And then oh, did I hit him then? Oh, that was lucky. Then you're pretty much left with guns that just aren't firing, or firing very slowly because they've overheated. And I found that in order to manage the heat, you need to, because you can't group your guns by different fire groups, they all fire with the fire button, that you either stop firing entirely or you just deal with guns not working, and it seems to take a pretty heavy hit on your DPS overall. So I decided to stay, tail damage, I've decided to stay with all machine guns, and even though some of these heavy targets do take a while, your guns take a very long time to overheat and you just can get the damage out faster. So keep that in mind, guys, if you are looking to upgrade or you can't decide whether you like one or the other. I think for heavy fighters, cannons are probably the way to go, just simply because, get around this guy, simply because you're probably not going to be firing as much, your maneuverability isn't quite as high, and you're probably going more for ground targets and other heavy stuff, so you don't necessarily need to be turning in tight circles and firing as many rounds as possible. Alright, get this guy out of the game, and here's my next target lined up. A little bit earlier, here we go. Nice, and a turn. So, excellent turning circle on this. Probably not quite as good as the British that I've found, but still the engine power is enough to pull you through, and all you need is a boost, and you can get out of trouble quite quickly. So, still not down? Ah, damn, overshot him. Alright, let's get out of his way. Another thing that I've found, guys, if you start the turn with a boost, the guys who are chasing you will tend to be left a little bit behind, and you just gain that vital second or two just to complete your turn a little faster and keep yourself out of trouble. Now, guys with tail guns are the worst for fighters, so you can see, or you can probably hear it as well, I'm getting hammered with return fire from the back of that heavy guy there. But all you need to do really is just turn around to his flank just slightly, and the tail gunner, especially if he's being controlled by the player, doesn't really have much of an option. Oh, yep, and that's the other thing. These big heavy guys will try to ram you every opportunity you can, so be aware of that if you're flying directly into a big plane that their goal is going to be to ram you. So make sure you start your turn nice and early. Ooh, I'm getting out of the way. Alright. So as I mentioned at the start of this, guys, it's not a super technical game. You've got the the various cannons and engine upgrades and airframe upgrades that increase your survivability and your damage per minute. That's that's all good. You can get stuck into those stats if you like, but realistically, all of that comes together in a very well-oiled display of just aim slightly ahead and go to town. And there's no complex mapping of buttons across. You don't need to be managing power display, power distribution, or any of that sort of stuff. You just need to fly and shoot, and it's been very fun so far. You're slowing down. I'm out of the way, and that's the first death. All right, so we're in an all tier 4 game here, and as you can see, the game is quite balanced. Doesn't seem to be all spinning off in one direction like, say, a game of World of Tanks does a lot of the time. As long as your team is concentrating on capturing the points as much as they're concentrating on shooting down the enemy, things seem to go quite well. And having a look at it here, so yeah, we're not quite at the top of the table, but we're certainly up there. And I think it's a little difficult to be fully concentrating when you're commentating while playing, but certainly you are still able to get amongst the damage. So I'm just going to boost straight in and see if we can put some hurt on this guy, and then I'm going to turn back and take that cap off to my right. Engine overheat. So, an F2A. I'm not sure what country he's from, but he looks like he's more interested in the ground than anything behind him, so that means that's my cue to swoop in and introduce him to the era of his ways. So he had a team effort there, assistance in destroying. Excellent, so that's a few more points for the good guys. Alright. So what will happen here, guys, so we're heading towards a point just in front of us indicated by that star. Those star points, when they're captured, will spawn AI aircraft. So you have the heavy and light defense aircraft, which you can see as I'm coming into the cap here, and the names have just popped up. So you need to kill all of those aircraft before any more of them respawn in order to begin capturing the point for your team. And it is a very good way to earn points quickly at the start of a game. So a lot of teams will get into the point, see what's going on, and have a look around. If you just pick a target, and if you're in a fighter especially, go straight for the light guys. Pick a target and just start hammering away on it. You will find that you are in the points very quickly, and then it's very quick then to, once you've started engaging, you're already looking around for your next target, and you can go straight on, and you can probably get 2 or 3 of these guys before your team have even started to catch up on the points. So if you're in a fighter especially, highly recommend pick your point, go for a light target, because your guns will be much quicker at killing those targets first, and by the time your team have even caught up, you can have at least a kill under your belt. So a lot of people firing here. I'm going to boost through that just in case I had a friendly coming up behind him. So you really don't want to be that guy that turns in front of somebody else and ends up destroying one of your allies because you can't steer. Alright, so looking good here. Looks like this point should be fairly safely ours soon. Coming up. And what we got? And that's a victory. Excellent. So captured enough of the points. Excellent work by our team there. And yeah, look, so we only got the 5th grade fighter there, but I reckon we were still up there in the points. So I'm going to pause it here, guys, and I'm going to return to you back with the score screen. See you in a sec. Alrighty, and we are back having a look here at the score summary. So pretty good effort. Our team was very into this game and knew exactly what they were doing. So as I mentioned partway through that video there, you need to be obviously fulfilling your role as a fighter. If you are a fighter, for example, your primary target are the enemy aircraft. You've got a lot more guns, you've got a lot more maneuverability, and you need to get in behind them and clear the way for your heavy fighters and your multi-role fighters to start bombing the ground and to assist in capping those points. A lot of times, I have seen so far, like I said, I've played a few games now, and I basically started the very first few days that Wargaming released this game. A lot of teams were all focused entirely on killing the other airplanes and not focused on capturing the points, and it resulted in a lot of defeats. And while I'm not too concerned about that, I'm not a massive stat padder, it did become frustrating when you felt like as a fighter you were just starting to get warmed up and the game was over. But very, very good work by our team. They're very happy that it all worked out well. So we got a flying start, destroying at least 3 aerial targets in the first sortie of the day, which is awesome. Hat-trick, one fighter, heavy fighter, and attack aircraft in a single battle, and then a win. So a lot of these if you do reasonably well, and by reasonably well, you shoot a couple of defense aircraft down, you shoot a couple of enemies down, or you bomb a few targets on the ground, you do kind of get some of these reasonably quickly. And different to warships and tanks, where you really need to stand out, this game, it rewards you for the play, and it seems to be more focused on your events and makes it a little easier to gain recognition in terms of the score screen over you having to be the best on both teams, say in tanks, where you very few and far between where you get a legendary medal. But these ones, they pop up quite a bit. And what have we got here? Strong support, assisting allies at least 8 times, awesome. And the subjugator at least 75 points in 2 battles now in a row, awesome. And 5th grade fighter, so this is the chevrons, you get more and more, which I'll show you in the next screen. More and more, the more input you have in the battle. And we have the predator here, assist in destroying at least 10 aerial targets in a single battle. Into the personal score, so here we go here, that's assist points. So that's 12 aircraft that I helped teammate destroy. Involved in 2 sector captures, did 1,869 damage to aerial targets and destroyed 6 of my own. So as you saw there, guys, I did a lot of swooping in when someone was already firing. I'm more than happy to get those assists. I wasn't attempting to do any kill stealing. But what I like to do is, if I can see a heavy fighter, especially if it's already getting hit by one of my friendlies, I'll turn away from their direction of flight and then hook straight back into it, and I'll try and come in a little bit higher than my ally, and we'll fire straight down onto it. So if the ally needs to turn, then it doesn't matter, because there's still a set of guns firing, and that enemy aircraft is going down regardless. But if both of us can either one of us or the other get the kill, awesome. Both of us will still get the assist points. So as a fighter, you need to be looking at who's isolated, who's by themselves, and also what your allies are shooting at, and if you can get in and help them. So last screen here, across to the team score. So you can see this guy, Edge Case, on the other team here, had a huge impact in this battle, but unfortunately for him, overall, we had some pretty good performers on our team too. So Jack Lanterns, excellent work, highest score for our team, and this is what I was meaning with the chevrons, guys. So never, oh, what is that? Never Real Fly on our team here in the, I suppose, I-17, probably a Russian plane. Had the most contribution to our battle there, but most points goes to the P-36. And there's me in 4th place there. So I'm happy with that. Only within about 1,400 points of the top. And hopefully in a few more battles, once I've warmed up playing for today, I'll be up there in the top 2. Alrighty guys, that's it for this one today. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you see, please give the video a like. I'd very much appreciate it. And I'll be bringing lots of wargaming content through this channel, primarily planes and warships at this stage. I'm having a bit of break from World of Tanks, but luckily they're going to be providing, Wargaming will be providing a Australia and New Zealand server from the 1st of November, which will drastically reduce the pings and will hopefully aid in all of our ability to rack a few wins up and do a bit more damage. So from the 1st of November, it'll be balanced between the 3, but for now, it will be primarily planes and warships. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'm the Nerdy Beard. Take it easy.